They always raise our taxes, they spend our money, and we don't know how they're spending it.
People have experienced the idea of Big Brother, and they don't necessarily like it. The idea that bureaucracies can manage people's lives better than people can manage their own lives.
Did you know that 50,000 regulations were added during the Bush administration? The Bush administration. 50,000 new regulations in the Federal Register. This is the regulatory state. They were the ones who created the problem.
The housing downturn and the surrounding uncertainty are significantly impacting our financial institutions and capital markets.
2007 also saw the nation reel as the real estate bubble burst and the mortgage industry collapsed as millions lost their homes. The crisis was blamed on greedy bankers loaning money to unqualified buyers.
If government wasn't so all-intrusive, if they weren't setting arbitrary rules, if they weren't trying to get the whole country into a house they can't afford, there would not be a profit to be made by trading securities in houses people could not afford.
When people say capitalism caused the housing bubble, that is not true. If the government decrees that everyone should have a blue house, I don't blame the painter that's painting the house blue. They were doing what was the cleverest thing to do under the crazy rules that were set up. If they didn't do these things, they would be even crazier.
The government, through its immoral and practically moronic laws, ruined things, and then came in and said, well, we have to fix them by passing even bigger laws.
The following year, 2008, as financial markets plunged into free fall, the government seized lending institutions and shut down brokerage houses. Politicians and pundits cited unbridled greed, and capitalism run amok.
Unfortunately, people are misidentifying capitalism with crony capitalism. Because a capitalist system, people get to fail. They get to be very successful, but they also get to fail. And I think at a gut level, the average person realizes it's unfair to allow people to get rich and then not let them take, get the downside of that process. And that's what crony capitalism is.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Remember that Eisenhower, in his farewell address, warned the country about the military-industrial complex. That's really what he was talking about. He was talking about this kind of unholy alliance between two institutions that should be antithetical. If not enemies, they should at least be wary opponents of each other. That the government is there to regulate, not to pick winners and losers.
And as Mr. Fold was pleading with Secretary Paulson for a federal rescue, Lehman continued to squander millions on executive compensation.
If you don't want bankers to be taking multi-million-dollar bonuses, don't subsidize money that goes into the financial system. That is what makes these bonuses possible.
With the world careening toward financial meltdown and global recession, the U.S. government responded with emergency measures and bailouts that seemed literally ripped from the pages of Atlas Shrugged.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.